I have a few things to talk about. First of all, I got a message today about the Birdparty song that was supposed to be coming on, um, available on iTunes, Apple Music, and still hasn't appeared there. But I got some news, and it will be streaming next week. So it's been resubmitted to Apple Music now. So everyone that wanted to download, all the five of you, or how many, I don't know how many people there were, but around there anyway, that wanted to download the song can do that now next week, and the rest of you as well, of course. So go ahead, and I'll be sharing the link once I know it's live. Okay, so that's some good news there. Another thing that has happened today is that I was in contact with Adam Cruickshank is his name. It's hard to pronounce those African names, but he's a South African guy who has a new podcast that you should check out. It's called The Birding Life, and it has had quite a few of the more prominent South African birders on there, like Trevor Hardaker and Adam Riley, and you name it, they've all been on there. And there's a new episode coming tomorrow, and Birdparty is going to be on it, and I'm have a little segment there. So you should go ahead and listen to that. He Adam also told me that now this podcast that previously was only on SoundCloud is now also available on iTunes and all the other sort of podcast services out there. So thumbs up for Adam. There you go, thumbs up, and his brand new birding podcast. And he's got a really good concept, and he's really dedicated. And it's I think it's like 6, 7, 8 episodes already. So he's got a stream of material coming, and yeah, you can learn a lot about the South African birding and the bird life there. He also told me that it's going to be a podcast for those people that are sort of getting into birds. You know, there's a lot of people showing interest now with the COVID-19, and I think it's a good idea for all of us that we sort of cash in on that, being present with these webinars, etc. All these live streams that you can see around the world. I know they've been doing them from Colombia with Diego Calderon. Luis from Mannequin Bird and some have been doing some as well. And there's a lot of the people from Central America also that has this Central American birding route with people from Panama, Costa Rica, Guatemala, and Belize, I believe, and they're doing like a network and sort of working together. So lots of good things happening, and it's not only for selling to you guys in English. It's rather also to stimulate the local market and to get people locally to start being more aware about birds, and that they're all around us basically, and we can all sort of enjoy that, and that there are these resources, because I think a lot of the people that are getting into birds, they don't really know that this world exists, and when they find out, they get scared because they think, well, I don't know anything, why should I join a bird club or a birding tour? I don't know anything. So rather not to intimidate, it's a good thing that we do this sort of on a local level as well. And as I mentioned in my previous update today on my profile, I put together now a new Facebook group called Aves de Miraflores, San Borja, San Isidro, and Barranco. Those are the districts near myself that I can run to that are within a 3-kilometer radius. And so I'm planning to do some free guiding for 45, 50 minutes or so in the parks, different parks every day. And I would start that probably on, I said I was going to start it tomorrow, but it will probably be on Thursday or Friday, so I can get the message out to a lot of people, so we get something going for a period of days. And also I probably have to get up earlier in the morning. But hey, that's another thing actually. I asked the people on this group now, what time do you want to do this? So it's not necessarily that the new birders want to do it first thing in the morning. We as birders, we know that's the best time, right? But if you're going to get a newbie up and out, it better be comfortable for him. Otherwise, he won't do it. He won't, he won't wake up at 4 o'clock to go birding like some of us dudes do. So you have to make it simple. You have to make it, and even if there's less birding and less sort of activity at that time, so be it. You will always see some birds, right? So that's something you can replicate also in your areas. The whole idea here is like get people locally, as local as you can. And I've been setting up groups here in Peru very early on for the whole of Peru on Facebook for the different departments. But you can actually segment that even further and just do like districts. So because people are looking for, if they're going to look for birds in Miraflores, they're not going to go Aves de Peru because they will get too many hits, right? So they're going to look for Aves de Miraflores. And if they do it on Facebook, well, guess who's going to pop up, right? So any neighbor here that sees something strange, and I have some people today sending me a video of a scrub blackbird singing. He's not a birder. I know he's not a birder, but he's a Sweden. He knows me, right? So he sent that video to me. And hi, Walle, if you are watching this anyway. And so, you can motivate people to actually start caring about birds, just making it a little bit less troublesome and, easier access, basically, for all these new birders. Right, and now finally, I'm also set up. I mentioned that in a few episodes back that I was actually the first one that I did, and I also decided to do these sort of daily updates. I did an update, and I was in a bit of a crisis then because I couldn't really figure out where to get some sources of income. I still don't have it all figured out, but what I have done and what I mentioned then was that I've set up the Patreon page. And do you know what Patreon is? It's like a subscription-based support to creators. And I don't know if this has any value to anyone except myself, sort of therapeutic anyway. But if it does have any value to you, well, then you can support that in a very easy way. It's a recurring charge. And obviously that charge is set very low, so it doesn't really feel like you do hardly anything, It's a donut or a cup of coffee. How much does a cup of coffee cost, right? Well, it's patreon.com/Gunnar Engblom. I put a link in beneath here, right? So anyway, so you can check that out, and there's 3 different tiers. And here's what I come up with. So $3, that's like the tip box, right? So, and then you have, that's $3 a month. $3, 10 soles. It's about 25, 30 Swedish kroner. So it's not a whole lot. And if you like this content here, if you like my music, if you like some of the blogs that I've done, some of the ideas, the longer webinars, etc., that's a little small way to show your appreciation. And I don't know if this is going to work, but if it works, it'll be a good little stream of income through these difficult times now. And you can time limit it also. I mean, you don't have to keep on doing it once this thing is over. And probably my stream of sort of creativity will go down significantly as I'm going to be busy with work, right? So that's one thing, one of the tiers. And the next tier is like $10. Then this is really good value for you, and you really want to support me somewhat more. So, I mean, if I get 100 people giving $10, that would be fantastic. That would be, that would be $1,000. I couldn't even dream of that, but that would be great. Then that would be an income. So that would be fantastic. Now, I put another tier here, and this is quite interesting. Now, if you think that you are going to do a trip with the Colibri Expeditions one of these days, right, or with Seven Wonders Birding, but you are you can't really afford it, but you would like to do it like in 3 years or so, but it's going to be like $2,000-3,000. Here's the thing with Patreon, with a monthly payment of $100, right? You save up to that birding trip of yours. So it's like a credit-based or like on how do you say that? Like recurring payments for something that you really want. When you're going to buy that stereo or your camera equipment, you split up the cost of that great lens you're going to buy for $7,000 into 12 different deposits, 12 monthly fees. Well, you can do the same here with your birding trip, right? So you have no excuse why you should not take a trip with us. You can pay $100 per month, right? And that way, in 12 months, you got $1,200, and you can do a Central Peru trip for $1,200 for 5 days, easily. So there you go. So you have a birding trip saved up. And whatever you sort of deposited there, that will also be your deposit. Now, say you're still missing $600 to pay the full price, then you pay that extra before the trip is done, right? And then you can sort of turn off the recurring. I don't know exactly how to calculate how much of that value will actually go to the trip and how much the costs are for receiving the money. I will see that eventually, but right now I'm sort of calculating on, say you put down $100, then it's like 85% of that is the actual amount that goes to the trip, and then 15% are whatever Patreon takes, PayPal, getting the money from PayPal to Lima, etc. And if there's any extra money in between there, well, that will be your sort of support for this creative thing that I'm trying to give you all twice a day, short little notes of ideas of mine. So that's it. Pretty much. I just summarizing also my running for today. I did not go out, as I said that I was going to after my previous posting today. It was kind of cold today. I don't really feel like going outside. I've been on the treadmill, and everything sort of got jammed together. The Swedish classes with my kids. I had to help out with the English homework that my daughter Luciana had, and tried to do a little bit of running here, and then trying to get this thing set also. As you notice, this was later than it has been the other nights, so an hour later tonight. Please let me know also if you prefer this time rather than doing it earlier. So right now it's an hour later than it usually is. If you're here live right now, to put a little note down there saying that this is much better for you. But if you have had the other ones at 8 o'clock Peruvian time or 7:45, then I will continue with that. I don't know, either or will work for me, right? So maybe this is better for me actually, but you let me know whichever works for you. Okay, so yeah, that was it. Tomorrow another day, and hopefully I'll do some shooting from outside tomorrow. I'll try to find another nice spot where you can see how Lima looks like, these days. I see you tomorrow on the Gunnar Engblom Facebook profile, and here on the Facebook page tomorrow evening. And as I mentioned before, all these are also on YouTube, and there's a playlist there. I edit them, so they are a little bit shorter. You don't get that intro on both ends. And I also been posting it on Instagram TV. I don't know if anyone is using that, but nevertheless, you find them on Instagram TV as well. So there you go. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. Bye.